listeners, to My Fantasy Wife, the weekly sports meets comedy meets marriage podcast, where a husband and wife discuss sports, fantasy leagues, and their impact on pop culture and relationships, including their own. I'm the wife, comedian Blair Postman.
Yay, Blair.
Yay! Also on board, my husband and sports stat expert, Gary Hames.
Right on.
Yay, Gary! Filling in as Hot Topics and social media maven, comedian Wills Maxwell.
How goes it?
It goes, Wills! And rounding things out, sound engineer, comedian, a man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
Wills, did you get fired from some jobs or something? You didn't have as many credits.
I noticed. I was like, I'm getting downsized.
Yeah.
Fewer credits than last week. To never miss our weekly episodes and extras, subscribe in iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Go to our website, myfantasywife.com. It's got links to everything. Find us on Facebook at My Fantasy Wife Podcast, Twitter at MyFantWife, Instagram at My Fantasy Wife Podcast. Gary, tell us about this week's sponsor.
This week, Blair, on a very special My Fantasy Wife,
Yes.
we've got a very special sponsor, and that's Dead Crow Comedy Club.
Comedy bingo at Dead Crow Comedy Club?
Actually. Every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. at Dead Crow Comedy, enjoy a free show featuring the best comics from the Southeast, all while playing bingo along with the words they say. What could happen there? You could win prizes and enjoy discount wings and tacos.
I love all those things.
And you know who's hosting?
Who?
Louis Bishop with In-Lou's sidekick comedian Lou Morgante.
Shut the front door!
It's shut.
All right. Well, upcoming guests, guys. Wait. I love that. Right. Upcoming guests, guys. Today we're having comedian Nick Vatterott. And then August 14th for episode 81, comedian and underground wrestling fan Emmett Montgomery. On the 21st, we're going to have TV actor and comedian Seton Smith. And on the 28th, comedian Mike Mello. And it's just, woohoo! And then a little bit of housekeeping, if you will. We're going to be starting up our Twitter Football Little Pick Club, where we tweet out 5 games a week that you need to tell us the winners to. So if you want to partake in that...
Now, football, that's the one with the oblong leather...
Yes, it looks a little like a spaceship,
right.
I would imagine.
Right.
The outline of it. And so you need to...
And that's the one where if you don't have them inflated to the right air
You
quality,
get
your
suspended.
all-pro quarterback gets in a 2-year fight in the Supreme Court and ends up suspended? Okay.
Well, he never gets the Supreme Court, but yes,
Right,
that's essentially
Just
correct.
up to.
Yes,
Just up
all the way up
to.
to the edge of the U.S. Supreme Court, because that's what we should be spending our time on.
When he found out what it would cost to kill 2 of the
Can
court
I-
members, he just let it go.
All right, I'm going to finish this.
You
And
guys
so
got
if
Scalia
you
for me. All right.
if you want to be on the Twitter Football Little Pick Club, you got to tweet us at MyFantWife. And if you want to be, Gary's going to get excited. If you want to be in our My Fantasy Wife Fantasy Football League.
Oh, I thought I was playing all 10 spots.
Wait, no, you're going to do something else. If you want to be in our Fantasy Football League, we're going to give first right of refusal through August 21st to the people who were on it last time. If you want to be in one of those slots, you got to tweet us at MyFantWife or email us at info@myfantasywife.com before August 28th. First come, first serve.
We still doing the $1,000 a person
No.
winner take all?
Nope, it's glory. Pretty much just the glory. Pretty much. And, everybody.
The whole thing is about the glory.
Several thousand people will probably hear about it on this podcast.
Okay. All right.
So there's that too. And Gary, you're going to play a few fantasy leagues this year on your own as well. Last year you did 25. I very much enjoyed the all cat name.
Yes. Well, there's going to be lots
league.
of
subcategory.
Subcategories,
Like
yes.
you're going to have the league where you only play bird named teams, that kind of thing.
something like that. I don't know.
Or you only pick people from the AFC
I got to
East.
sit down and yes.
Something.
I got to sit down and,
All right.
and think about that. But
Well-
yes, there'll be lots of special teams.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'm actually leaning towards playing 50 teams this year, because as you know, I'm allowed to have 25 on ESPN for free, but I could do 25 under my name and 25 under your name.
The dishes in my
Unless,
kitchen
of course,
will...
you want to play the other 25 and we could compete.
No, I don't. I don't want
It's
to.
My Fantasy Wife.
I know. And I am...
Fantasy refers to fantasy games, and this is the only one anyone cares to play. So.
Well, I will play...
Though I am still playing NASCAR.
I will play in our league, which I did pretty well in. Didn't I get to the finals last year?
Did you?
Yeah, I think it was me versus Drew. Pretty sure I did. I have to go back and look that up.
Okay.
But yes,
Pretty sure I called Donald Trump to win the Republican nomination.
Yes, you did. That also happened. But wait a second. We're getting off track, and it's still very early.
Pretty sure Lewis Bishop won every competition.
Okay. Yes, other than the football league. Any bracket, anything in bracket for Mr. Bishop wins. Typically, that's where the smart money is. So, hi, Mr. Bishop.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. Are you feeling like the guy where the smart money is today?
Sure.
All right, sure. So, just as a little aside, Gary, before we went on air, Will's asked you a very important football-related question. What was that question,
I am
Wills?
asking you.
Oh, if you had heard of the PlayStation game Head Coach.
And
It sounds vaguely familiar.
now, why do you know about this game, Wills?
This was a game I got when I was in 7th grade. I asked my parents for Madden, if I could have a Madden football
Sure,
game.
that's a game we've all heard of.
Yeah.
That people enjoy playing.
Yes,
Right.
popular game, been around for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have Madden? And they said, well, when your grades get up, we'll get you Madden. So my birthday is before the semester ends, so my grades haven't come in yet.
Right.
But my parents can check online and see what my grades currently were.
Okay.
And they weren't Madden level in time for
They
my
were
birthday.
Madden level.
So my parents instead bought me NFL Head Coach, which was a game that just come out that year. And this is a video game on the PlayStation 2 where you play the coach and no one else.
See, I would like that. I search out that. I don't want the action part. I'd rather coach.
It's just like you know what I like about that?
Yeah.
A few things. First of all, I like that your parents still got you a video game.
Yeah, it's like
you
it's
can
his
still
birthday.
waste your time online. But they kind of figured, maybe this is going to help him with math because coaching. I don't know. Was that
Were there graphics?
Barely.
just a chalkboard?
Just it was honestly
Like selecting the team and
you
that
select
sort of
the
thing?
team. The majority of the game is you sitting in your desk in your office filling
Right.
out paperwork.
It's like, hey, you're going to get a paper pushing job, Wills, if you don't get those grades up. That's what this is. Your whole
It's
life's going to
he's-
be like this.
He's turning 13. We can't get him nothing.
I feel like I have that, and I've played it a lot. And I feel like there's one for baseball too that works the exact same
You
way.
would
Is
have
it?
loved that. Oh my God,
Yeah.
Nerd Patrol.
And
Because
it had like a salary cap, and the main thing was trying to
Yes.
have all these players and get them under. I'm almost certain I still have that and
Yes.
play that today.
It's like
right.
30 hours of gameplay to get up to the season. Like
Yeah,
majority
yes,
of the game is
right.
spent in the off
Yeah.
season filling out paperwork
You know
at
what?
the desk.
I like that. I think you millennials could learn something from that. It's not all glory. It's not all like right now. This is the glory part of the podcast. Hours and hours.
My
a
favorite
week
thing about that game
spent
was
at my desk,
it would-
not doing my real work.
it would
so that we
start-
can be prepared.
It would start like 10 years before. But then eventually you would pass the current year and go into the future, and like the
Yes.
old guys that you heard of would die out, and they would make up new
They'd make up
guys
new
that came
players
into
that
the
you
league every year, and so
draft.
you had this team of people that
I
didn't
thought
exist
you
for
go
real.
back 10 years, and first you had to like go to a junior college and not get drafted as a football player yourself, and then go into like
No.
physical education major, and then
But it was great as like the aging legends stopped being any good, and you'd have to cut them and hire new rookies that don't exist really.
this
and
is like
so,
in some ways a very sad and yet poignant sounding game.
and
We're
there were
gonna check
flaws.
it out.
There were flaws in the game, and so like the salary cap would keep going up, and all of a sudden one year, like you had a $50 million salary cap, and the cheapest player you could buy was $45 million,
Yep.
and it was just didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's like 30 hours of gameplay in the off season. You finally get to the
Yep.
regular season. Regular season is practice. Practice consists of you saying what play
Yeah.
you want them to do.
Yeah.
You watch them do it, and then you tell them whether they did a good job or not.
Oh, there's like a
How
draft.
to give constructive criticism.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to
There's
go
a draft,
critical or?
and there's salary cap negotiations. Like, and then when it comes time to play the season, you just push a button and it plays the whole season and tells you how you did.
Oh yeah, you get to the. You can get to the games, and you get to the games. It's
It's
like
like boom,
what
boom.
play do you want them to do? And you say what play you want them to do, but you're only playing the head coach.
right.
And you also have offensive and defensive coordinators, so you could say what play you want them to do.
But they
and
could go rogue.
They could go rogue.
But
you
you
have no
also-
choice but to watch from the sidelines.
You also didn't have to do that at all. You could just push a button and it would just play the whole season in like
Yep.
10 seconds
It's
and
like-
tell you how everything did based on the team that you drafted.
and then you've got
Like,
another 30 hours in the off season.
All
I
right.
have literally no gameplay. It just,
That's
just
you know
the,
what? I had a similar video game. It was called Law School. It was equally as riveting, equally as fun. Yeah.
I don't want to take away from Will's fun time yet with
Right.
that game.
Right.
But all the stuff that Will's just explained, Madden had all that, and gameplay.
Exactly. No, exactly.
But he needed to get better grades.
This
to
was a
experience
straight
that.
up punishment game.
This was like he was forced to play this game.
Do you want to know what the this is the commercial for NFL head coach for PlayStation 2.
Oh, sweet.
It says a coach makes 1,000 decisions. Any of them can lead to a championship or a pink slip.
Can you get fired in this game?
Oh yeah.
Outdraft. There's a lot of coaches clapping hands and talking into stuff. Get prepared. Oh, a lot of building, a lot of talking and out coach. Oh, talking to Brett Favre on the sideline there. Oh, okay, all right. Brett Favre's got it. Oh, they're getting something going now.
Do you
The first 3D sports strategy game. EA Sports head coach.
Yes.
Do you have to do you get to go to his home and see how his kids say, "You don't care about me. All you care about is stupid football"?
I never once played an actual game. I just one button the entire season.
Okay.
Every time.
No,
all right.
Great punishment game.
I like the draft. That was the best thing about that game.
Okay. All right, guys. Quick fact check. We're going a little back. We're going to do a fact check real quick.
Okay.
Okay, listeners. Sorry, this because we were talking 45 minutes about that. Fact check. This is part of the podcast where we correct the mistakes that we made last week to make room for the mistakes we are going to make this week. There was, I'm going to skip that first fact check. We're just going to do this.
I thought that's the whole reason you went back here.
Oh, well, Gary had asked
I don't
whether.
want to.
Gary had asked whether hemorrhoids make it difficult to pitch in baseball, and
Blair decided to make me throw up.
No, and it just said.
Tell everybody what a prolapse hemorrhoid is.
They're usually quite painful, and we're just going to say that yes, we believe it would.
Yeah,
I'm not going to read the whole description.
Which you wrote. You wrote it.
Oh God. External hemorrhoids lie within the anus. They're usually
where do they lie?
In the anus. Stop it. They're usually painful if they move or prolapse to the outside. Usually
the outside of the anus.
Yes.
If the hemorrhoid moves from the, that's what you're saying, from the inside to the outside. Yeah. Okay.
Then
guys, just tell you, I hope that doesn't happen to me anytime soon.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
All right, and then here's the second one. During the description of Gnome Cop 3, Rumble in Rio, and by the way, listeners, if you have not listened to episode 79 and don't know what we're talking about when we're talking about Gnome Cop, you're really selling yourself short. You need to go back and listen. But Gnome Cop 3, Rumble in Rio, we wondered if Rio meant way. I thought Rio meant way, but in Portuguese it means river. So it was not... because we had said it's his way or the Rio way, and we thought maybe we were saying it's his way or the way, but no, it's his way or the river way,
which is a lot more intimidating.
Yeah,
it's a lot more
better,
intimidating. Yeah, that sounds like mafia people throwing you into a river with.
Can I point out that if you go on the internet and look up Gnome Cop on like Google Images, there's a lot of them, and some of them are funny.
Yeah. So, and we've put out a reward. Anyone who creates an original Gnome Cop graphic design for us,
$5,000
based on episode 79, $2. $2 and a lot of glory. $2. I might be willing to up it to $3 if somebody's a tough negotiator. $2 and a lot of glory. All right.
You can almost buy your way into the My Fantasy Wife Fantasy League with that kind of
money. With
money.
that kind of cash, you definitely could. You probably get 3 slots. So
you're giving out a lot of glory.
Well, that's all we got. That's all we got. All right, guys, are you ready, Gary? Before we move on, is there anything you need to say about any of these things before we go on to the new things?
No.
Okay. All right. Moving on to other hot topics, guys. The Pro Football Hall of Fame was this weekend, and they inducted a class of folk. And I'm going to just quickly read what ESPN calls the most amazing stat about each member, or at least the ones that we find interesting. For Brett Favre, it was the most interesting stat was he had the most consecutive starts at quarterback, and they note that among active quarterbacks, Eli Manning has 183. Favre had 297. So in order for Eli Manning to catch up, he would have to start all 16 games for the next 7 seasons and the first 2 games of the 2023 season, at which point he would be 42 years old. So that's a pretty strong position, that stat, Gary. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Any of these others of interest to you? What about Tony Dungy?
Just reading them.
What's the most interesting to you? We don't have to go through all
Well,
of
to
these.
me, Kevin Green is the number one linebacker sacker in the history of the NFL from the linebacker position. And it took him 16 years to get into the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Find that
seems
hard to believe.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
And Tony Dungy, he has double-digit wins and playoff appearances.
Yeah,
Say it the most.
when you get Peyton Manning as your quarterback, you tend to make the playoffs a lot
Yeah.
and win quite a few games. They were 13-3 every year. They just couldn't win the Super Bowl.
Anything that you find interesting or lacking here, Wills or Mr. Bishop? No.
Well, if I might be wrong on this, but isn't Tony Dungy also the first black head coach to win a Super Bowl?
I believe you are correct.
I guess Blair doesn't feel that's an important.
This is not from me. This is from ESPN. And it's stats. So I don't know if they count that as a stats.
If you look
ESPN.
close, that was on here, but she marked it out.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
See,
yes.
she scrawled over it. Not
Yeah.
important. I see. Yeah.
Yes.
That's so like me.
Right.
So like me.
It was during the Super Bowl between the Bears and the Colts.
Yeah.
Both had black quarterbacks. I mean, black
Coaches.
coaches.
Yep.
And so
Yeah, Lovie Smith.
Was it? There was the guy for the Steelers. Was he what was his name?
Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. I thought maybe he was before that. But
No.
Okay.
I'd also just like to put in a personal pitch for Kenny Stabler, who's one of my favorite all-time
Yes.
quarterbacks, both for his football acumen and also for being
Raiders.
a colorful and charismatic individual.
You like that pick, right, Mr. Bishop?
yeah, that's good. I like
He's
that.
one of your Raiders guys.
I like that. They don't talk. Of course, they would never talk about any of the bad things that these guys did or whatever. But real quick, who remembers that not Peyton Manning, Brett Favre with those dick pics that he got in trouble with when he worked for the Jets?
He definitely did that. That was definitely a thing that was not brought up during the ceremonies at the Hall of Fame.
How great would it have been though if during his speech, like that was
just
all that
appeared
was
on the wall
projected
behind
on?
him.
Yeah, that's all.
Right, they're showing like his early career and this and that, and then a couple of dick pics,
Yeah.
and then he's the Super Bowl trophy or whatever.
Yeah,
It's just
right
kind
behind
of
him.
it's in there nonchalant.
He just turns around and looks at it and says, "Hey, cock and balls."
that would be interesting. So Gary, the preseason games are starting tonight. You don't care about preseason
Don't
games?
care at
You
all
love
about-
football.
I know.
You love it.
Preseason's unwatchable.
Why is preseason unwatchable?
It's unwatchable. Like in college, you get like at least there's rankings and they're playing for something, and the schools are famous even if you haven't heard of it. But it's nobody plays that you've ever heard of, and nobody cares who wins, and none of the players on the field will be there when the regular season starts. So it's not very good.
Oh,
For me.
all right, well.
The only reason they have those games is so they can fill the stadium up and have extra home dates to sell hot dogs and stuff.
Well, yeah, they're pep rallies pretty much. They're big pep rallies. I enjoy them mostly because of that. It's like, hey, look at the Panthers again. Look at them.
Oh,
look at those
they
uniforms.
got
Look
all
at those
this
logos.
stuff.
No, and every time they have a negotiation, all the players ever do is try to get these things ended because, much like the Matrix, when you die in the preseason, you die for real.
Right.
That's perfect.
Right. So there's just more opportunity to get hurt.
Oh, yeah. That's why they never play the good players. Because
Well-
what are you going to do if Tony Romo separates his shoulder in the preseason game instead of in the first regular season game?
About what you would have done anyway?
Right.
That
Nice.
was a
Good
Tony
old-
Romo joke.
good
Well,
old
I made one
cowboy
before
Brian.
yours, and you just blew right. I said, what are you going to do if he separates in the preseason instead of in the first game like usual?
I know, baby.
my
It
joke.
was good. You make fun of yourself. America loves it.
Right.
America loves it. So what are you most looking forward to besides 1,800 fantasy football leagues, Gary?
Nothing. That's pretty much it.
No, okay. What about you, Wills? What are you looking forward to in the NFL this year?
Keep pounding. Another Super Bowl appearance from the Panthers.
All right. What? Maybe Mr. Bishop, are you looking forward to anything this time around? NFL?
Yeah. Well, I look forward to a Panthers-Raiders Super Bowl.
All right. Is that possible? Are they in the correct
is
leagues away from each
possible,
other?
yeah.
Okay.
Possible, yeah.
All right.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing the glory of Cowboys rookie running back behind that talented offensive line. We're going to be a ball control team this year.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Are the Rams and the Raiders competing for fans? Are they competing for
No.
like turf?
No.
No. Okay.
Maybe there'd be like a knife fight in a parking lot somewhere to decide who gets Encino or whatever.
One's a storied franchise, and one's a team that no one will show up and see.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to remember they left there 15 years ago. Now they just come back. People aren't.
Maybe
probably
nobody will
happy
notice.
About that.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't notice. It's
Well, that's
LA.
what I said in the NBA when the Nets became the Brooklyn Nets, but it still felt like there was a bit of a turf war with that.
Yeah,
So
a little bit. I think so. So, something else really big happened a little before we came on air today, Sunday. It is A-Rod either retired or he got his ass kicked off the Yankees, but they still have to pay him $27 million.
Right.
What do you think about that, Gary? Did they
Well, he was hitting 204 this year, and he
Yeah.
had been sitting on the bench and not playing, so they'd rather give a younger player a chance. He's done.
Yeah, I mean,
He's 41.
Was this a surprise or now? And they're doing this whole thing like next year, I guess, because they still owe him $26 million.
Yes.
They're like going to make him like a coach or
Yes.
something.
Right.
Is that
A
useful?
$27 million a year,
Yeah, right.
a special assistant.
Is that
they
what
call
the
it.
head coaching job paid in head coach? The video game
well,
head coach?
not right from the get go. You know, you were just starting.
Right, exactly. You had to play a junior college head coach and
Right.
then move your way up. Yeah. So what do you think about? I mean, how does it turn out for A-Rod? Because a week or two ago we were talking about Baseball Hall of Fame and all the people who weren't in because of steroids, and he's actually been suspended for I thought it was steroids.
Yeah.
So what's the sum of his career?
He was
then?
caught several times just lying, bold-faced lying about not taking steroids. He always said he didn't do it, and then he tested positive, and then he said that was the only time, and then he got caught again.
Right.
So, and then he was kicked out for a year, and he sued to keep him in, and he lost, and he threw a giant fit in public, and it just was ugly. But he's clearly been roided up his entire career.
But so he was.
Which is interesting because he's also the greatest shortstop in the history of baseball.
Well, so this is my question.
At least offensively.
What's the sum total of his career then? I mean, he was the biggest, most recruited, most highly paid guy coming in at the time he came in.
When the Rangers gave him that contract, that was earth-shattering. It was a good $250 million contract at a time when the record was like $70 million. Like it totally changed the economics of baseball forever.
But what about his career? Like, is he a Hall of Famer? Is he?
Put it this way: nobody identified with steroids has come close to getting into the Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens is not going to get in. Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs a season. He's not getting in. Like
ever?
Well, that's the thing. It's like eventually, are they going to soften their stance on this? The fans don't give a crap. They want to see a lot of home runs. They'd be happy if everybody was forced to be on steroids,
like Running Man or something.
Yeah, right. So
futuristic. Maybe not Running Man. Maybe not Running Man.
My feeling is you can't keep 30 years worth of people out of the Hall of Fame when everybody was doing the same. When everybody of note was doing the same thing. They're gonna have to come to some. They'll put an asterisk by their plaque and say he got in during the steroid era using steroids. But these guys, all those guys are in anyway. Even if they hadn't done it, they would still be in. On the other hand, Pete Rose would be in if he hadn't gambled, and now he's not ever going to be in. So who knows?
So what's the deal with? Is there a difference because some of those guys never got suspended during their careers? They retired without being suspended, but A-Rod was actually has ramifications.
No, because everybody knows who it was.
Okay.
Like even if they didn't get suspended, it's the same thing. And it's the baseball writers that vote for these things. And they know, like, been in the clubhouse every day for 20 years. They know who was taking steroids. They've witnessed a lot of times. So those guys aren't getting in.
Is it a little hypocritical because they were voting a lot of people in probably when they knew they were doing steroids before it all came to light, or that's not the case?
I don't think that's the case.
Okay.
I think they didn't get in.
Okay.
Now, the hypocritical part is that, like, in the 70s, they were taking amphetamines by the bushel.
Right.
And nobody cared about that.
Daryl, the Daryl and Doc and Daryl, 30 for 30, they were talking about that a lot.
It went on for. I remember reading Ball 4 by Jim Bouton, which, if you've never read, is my choice for best baseball book of all time. Okay. And he talked in the 1969. That was about the 1969 season with the Seattle Pilots, and everybody on that team was taking amphetamines the whole time. So that's been going on for a long time, and the team doctor gives them to you.
Yeah.
So.
All right. What is this? What's this song from? This musical selection, Lewis?
This is the theme of Running Man.
Oh, okay, nice,
wow.
Nice. He's so good. He's so good. All right, guys.
Do you DJ parties?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
All right. It's gonna be a
Ladies' choice.
No, this is a father-daughter first dance. Here we go. Dancing to the theme of 1986's Running Man.
soft camera push on girl sitting against the wall without a father. She doesn't know where he is, but she really wishes he was here right now.
He ran.
He ran.
Yeah, maybe gnome cop will dance with her.
And he ran. He ran so far away. All right. Well, that's a fun thing. It's a fun thing. So I think, guys, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna call our guest, comedian Nick Vatterott. How's that sound, to everybody?
All right.
Great.
It's exciting.
It's gonna be fun. What just happened? Something just happened.
Oh.
A thing happened.
Nope.
Something happened. I think this is working. I guess we're gonna find out. This is always the most exciting part of the podcast.
You plugged it in.
I know. That's why I'm not so confident.
Should I play a theme of Predator while we wait?
Sure,
Please.
why not? I don't see why not.
Okay.
Hi, this is Nick.
At the tone, please record.
Well, we'll
right.
we'll
try.
Yeah, I think you better play some music.
Well, we skipped the whole page, so.
Did we? No. We put that. That's all we were going to
Oh, that's
talk
for Nick.
with it. Oh, wait a second. This might be him. Hello, this is my Fantasy Wife
Nick Vatterott.
podcast. Is this Nick Vatterott?
This is one of the Nick Vatterotts.
What of the family of Nick Vatterotts?
Yeah, I'm like
Of the
I'm
Branson
like the third
Vatterotts?
Nick Vatterott. You know, I'm of top 10 Nick Vatterotts.
Okay, well, we're pretty much taking any Nick Vatterott today here at my
Oh
Fantasy
yeah,
Wife.
I mean most people. Usually people won't take any of them. So
Right.
I appreciate you taking any of them.
Well, you know, we're good like that. We're charitable like that. Nick, let me do a little intro for you, and then introduce you to who's sitting here with us today in studio.
Oh great.
All right.
Oh great.
All right, listeners. Nick Vatterott. In 2012, he was a Hollywood reporter named Breakout from Montreal's Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. Since then, he's performed on Conan, Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, Comics Unleashed, AXS TV, and has a half-hour comedy special on Comedy Central. His album, For Amusement Only, was named one of the top 10 albums of the year by Vulture, Laugh Spin, and Split Cider. He was a recipient of the prestigious Andy Kaufman Award in 2011, and before heading off to NYC, Chicago Magazine named Nick the funniest man in Chicago. Everyone, round of applause for Nick Vatterott. Yay! Good to
Can you do that every morning I wake up?
Sure.
Every morning I wake up, kind of like just lean in my window and say that to kind of get me going. To motivate.
I'm gonna send you a clip of that. Mr. Bishop will make us a clip of that. Speaking of Mr. Bishop, let me tell you who's here today. To my left is my husband and sports stat expert, Mr. Gary Hames.
Yeah, that's how I wake up
Hi.
every morning. Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, she reads me your information. It's awesome. You should try it.
Did she do that to you? Did she guys going to be a rundown of your accomplishments?
No, of yours.
No, of yours.
Of yours. You know Nick Vatterott. Listen to this.
He was all Conan. What the
man.
hell are you doing?
Right, exactly.
Sorry.
But you just whisper it to him. You're
Right.
like, honey, time to wake up. Nick Vatterott was just for laughs.
Exactly.
All the Nick Vatteratts.
And,
I love it.
Did that.
And also,
He's the funniest man in Chicago. You're not even the funniest man in our bedroom.
that's
There's a lot of bedroom roast battles. that
Yes,
happen.
it's a whole new genre we're working on, bedroom roast battles.
Bedroom roast battles.
To his left is
2 enter, 3 leave. They had a baby.
Wow. Yeah.
oh no, we're gonna make $1 million with
Just
that one.
combining marriage ref with roast
Right.
battle.
Exactly. Okay. So, also over here is our hot topics and social media maven, Mr. Comedian, Mr. Wills Maxwell,
How's it going, Nick?
It's going great. How are you doing?
Doing all right.
and also
Oh, good.
our rounding things out, our sound engineer, comedian, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
Hi, Louie.
Hi.
Good to see you again.
Great to see you too.
So, Nick, I ask all of our comedy guests what they like about sports or hobbies or pop culture, and I asked you, and you said pinball, and which is a totally acceptable answer. But just in case,
But wrong. But it was still wrong.
She's shaking her head no right now.
Just in case we don't have enough to talk about with pinball, we've also saved talking about the Olympics and the opening ceremonies for your guest appearance.
Oh, I love the Olympics, man. Are they doing them again this year?
They're
I love
doing them again.
Barely, man.
When are the next ones? I'm the biggest fan.
This is now. The next ones are right now. Right.
Oh, it's
Right
they're
now.
in San Antonio, right? Where are they again?
Like that. A little south of there, Rio de Janeiro this year. Did you catch the opening ceremonies?
No, man. I haven't seen any of it. I don't have television, man.
That's
so
best.
all I know is don't drink the water. That's all
Right.
I know down there.
Or
Well,
look at it.
unfortunately, I have a list of sort of interesting things.
Hang on. I want to know what his favorite pinball game
Okay,
was.
Gary doesn't want to get into the
I'm a
Olympics.
huge
now
pinball
we're
fan.
talking.
I'm
Gary-
a huge,
Olympics,
huge pinball fan.
Adam's Family is pretty much one of the greats. I think we all know that.
Who?
Twilight Zone's up there. You got
Yeah.
the invisible flippers. I mean, it was revolutionary at the time when it came out. Yeah, I like some of these new ones. I've been really into Ghostbusters, and then I just talked 30 minutes about pinball.
Really? I had the blue Flash Gordon in my basement growing up. Not the red one that came out later, but the blue one.
That's a rare one.
Yeah.
That's worth millions of dollars.
No, well, not in the condition we left it. I don't think it was.
Oh, crap.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
not.
so watch the show where it's Antiques Roadshow, but it's just Nick appraising pinball machines.
Yeah,
That's
right.
pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
He could
Now,
drift
this is a
into
rare
like
flipper. This is a
pachinko.
flipper from the Wizard of Oz. If you're actually using it
Right.
on a Wild West Cactus Canyon, and that's pretty unique.
I don't know if you probably know this, but I looked up a little bit because I like to do a little research for our guests. And the number one ranked pinball dude, I don't know, by the IFPA right now is a Swedish guy, Hjorian Engelbrektensen. But just a point and a half behind him in the rankings at 965.07 points is Zach Sharp, and he's from Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Well, Chicago's the pinball capital of the world. That's where it started. That's where Williams and Bally's and
That's why we
Midway are all
moved there
from.
several years ago.
Yeah, we
Yeah, man. That's where all the pinball action has happened. I mean, if it's it's like they're like, well, if you want to take pinball seriously, you got to move to Chicago.
Right.
I think everyone on the scene knows that.
It's true. I don't know what y'all are laughing
These
at.
Swedes are
It's dead
killing
serious.
it, though, man. The Swedes are just, I don't know how they're breeding them up there, but they are pinball machines.
Yeah.
They're,
so to speak.
What are you doing playing pinball in a mid-level market? You
Right,
gotta
exactly.
move
You're
up.
not gonna make it in pinball in Phoenix.
There's no pinball industry
You
here.
moron. You never get
yeah,
wasted.
you idiot. Yeah, you're not taking it seriously doing pinball in Phoenix.
Yeah, they
man.
use a plastic backplate there.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, just like
You could be the best in Phoenix, but the IFPA scouts are never going to come watch you play.
oh, this is like every weekend in North Carolina comedy. So Gary, do you have some real thoughts or questions about pinball? Because I pretty much just looked up who the top players were.
I don't have any. I didn't even know there was a way to rank the top players.
Oh,
I
wow.
loved Xenon. Did you ever play that game? The very sexually
Yes,
suggestive game.
yes. It's been
Yes.
a while, but that's
You'd hit your ball up the chute and she'd be like, ah. It's a fantastic game.
yeah. It's like one of the
Shoot.
first talking ones or something.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
really sexy.
That was my all-time favorite.
And are you a big
You can still do
Tommy?
that in Thailand. You shoot a
Yes,
pinball up the
20
red alley.
20 baht will get you quite a long way in Bangkok.
Yes, but it's not a pinball machine. It's just a woman.
Right. Well,
A woman with
technology is a little out of date.
trying to
but,
feed her children.
Right. All right.
So
Yeah, her flipper's a little droopy. you know.
Yes,
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
There we
I don't even know
are.
what that means.
That's the
And
saddest
they're-
pinball
they're-
joke.
But I think that meme for this week's episode is going to make itself
And
out.
there's
nicely.
more than 3 balls also. but-
Okay.
All right.
The alrighty.
Multi-ball.
Right.
Alrighty. There we go. So
I like how you try to soothe us out of a
I
bit.
do. We're
Like,
just gonna.
shh, it was good.
It's okay, guys. We can. No, I'm just. So, Mr. Bishop, are you?
You guys are having too much fun. Let's reel it in. Come
Yeah,
on.
reel it in. We don't want. We only want so much
Hey,
fun.
shut up, everybody. Shut up. Let's talk about the Olympics.
It's chaotic.
No.
It's like a pinball machine right now. I love it.
It's all
You know?
fun and games
Banging
till somebody
off each
loses
other.
an
It's
eye.
great.
Well, my question is, do you like Tommy, the movie, the musical, or do you think it cheapens pinball?
You know, it's funny. I saw it for the first time, and as stupid as pinball. Listen, man, I could talk to pinball. I could sell anybody on pinball.
Right.
You know, I could tell you, it is a way of life. It is a philosophy of life. You know,
right.
I mean, it always drains. It always ends.
It's
you know,
very Buddhist.
It's just, it is. It's sort of Zen. It's like, you know, you kind of like, you know, like you have some say in what's going on. You can kind of aim for this ramp. You can kind of aim for this, you know, this loop and get this mode going. But you only have so much say in it, and, you know, and it all ends.
Right.
You know, you always drain 3 balls at the very end. You know?
Yes.
And that's like
Yes.
the big.
It's the
It's
best
just
part.
trying to keep it up as long as you go. I do think it does fit my personality because, like, you know, like I think a lot of my comedy can be chaotic, and a lot of like, you know, what I like to do on stage is just sort of just manic, and then I kind of like, like pinball kind of just fits that to a T of just like complete trying to control as much chaos as possible.
I believe that. I could completely I completely and utterly think that is totally true. And I don't know if you've thought about that in advance, but you can use that now in upcoming magazine interviews and when you're doing shows you know, across the country. You ask them what your comedy is like. You can say it's like pinball.
It's like pinball, man. That's for Amusement Only, which is the name of my album. It's like, and I got pinball artwork on the cover. And I just thought that was funny too, because like I always thought it was funny that pinball machines would have like this sign that said for amusement only, and I thought, like, well, what else are you going to use it for?
Well,
you know?
there's no gambling.
Gambling, yeah. You don't want to be the Pete Rose of pinball.
30 years in this country, it was illegal to play pinball because they thought they were gambling machines, which is just so fucking stupid. But
yeah,
they wouldn't let us
so
listen to the rock and roll either, you know?
Yeah,
fuckers.
You couldn't tap your knees on Tuesday. Pigeons weren't allowed in the park after 4. No pigeons in the park after 4. It was a crazy time.
So,
all I know is in 1978 in Richmond, Virginia, at 7-Eleven, my disciples let me in, and I just did the rest.
is that from a song or is that a real thing?
That's Tommy.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. Look.
Wait, what did they do?
My disciples, they let me in, and I just did the rest.
It's from a song from Tommy.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like
I was 12.
I couldn't hear it. I'm too deaf, dumb, and blind. You asked about Tommy. I did see Tommy in the past year, and I thought it was great. I thought it was super cool. It's kind of like a one and done one. I don't know if you rewatch it, but it's pretty cool to see.
I saw it in the 70s. Where was it? 77 maybe. And I was 7, and that summer we went camping in upstate New York and Canada, and I remember very distinctly there's like a real rec area where you could go after, dark, try to have fun, and they had, all the kids would go there who were at the campground with their quarters and nickels, and we went to watch this guy, and this kid came by our campsite. He's like, come on, this guy's just like Tommy. It's like from some terrible movie, and he totally meant it, and everyone ran to the rec area to see this kid play pinball.
Here's a trivia question. Now we're on the subject. Does anyone know that pinball machine that Jodie Foster was raped on?
No, why? Why?
gosh.
Why do you know that, and why is it coming up now?
Oh, I have no idea. I was just trying to appall you.
Oh gosh.
I think it's come up before. It's a terrible scene in a movie, but you know what? This is how big of a pinball nerd I am.
Oh, God.
Like, I think I saw that scene recently, or it came up. I was
watch
just
it every
thinking
night.
about like the guy who's trying. He was in the middle of a game and he wouldn't get more quarters, and then he came back. And he's just like,
Whoops.
Excuse me, like I have a game going, guys. Can you guys move? I have a game going right here.
Right, it's all about your perspective, what that movie was about.
Would you?
Yeah, you looked at it about the injustice of a man-dominated society. I looked at it just like some nerd trying to play pinball.
Right. Exactly.
He's like, just my luck.
You're in the courtroom scene. You're just like, when are they going to get back to the guy that put the quarters in? When are we going to get back?
Yeah, he never got his. He had a killer game going. He was breaking the record, and then all of a sudden.
More of this.
Injustice.
Mr.
But
Bishop.
you know what? I think I tried to talk about that on stage one time, and for some reason, people they don't like when.
Yeah. All right.
You know.
Some of the women booed.
For
I don't
some
get it.
reason, that doesn't go well with comedy.
Right. It's not fair. Go ahead, Mr. Bishop. What's your question there?
I actually looked it up, and I know the name of the pinball machine.
That's why you're
Awesome.
here.
What is it?
What is it?
The name of the pinball machine is Slam Dunk.
That
wow.
is unfortunate.
Slam dunk.
That is unfortunate. They should have picked a different name.
It's too bad they didn't use my Xenon machine.
Yeah, that. Oh,
All in the middle of it, she'd have been like,
no. Wow.
Would have been good.
Hey guys, Olympics. Here's some
The standing broad jump.
It is not
That's
in my
a great
fancy
bit of
wife
conversation
episode.
piece I'm going to bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At bars and parties. You know the funny anecdote I just heard? You know
What?
the movie Witness? Or whatever it is?
Right.
Or what's the name of the movie?
What was that?
That was
movie?
Contact that happened, right?
No,
No.
not Contact.
Unfortunately not.
Oh,
That'd be
well,
a terrible name for that movie, Contact.
Yes.
No, it was not Contact, but we'll find it.
And then she realized that all of that actually just happened in 7 seconds. It was all just,
right.
It was
Exactly.
How is it that we know the name of the pinball machine but not the movie?
because Google, you can just Google
accused.
Jodie Foster
yes, that's it.
raped,
That's
and
it.
it
Well,
brings
can't
it
you
up.
put Jodie Foster movies?
No.
It's the accused.
The Accused. Thank you, Gary.
No, it wasn't me. Nick
Oh.
said it first.
Oh, okay. It was The Accused. Thank you, Nick. Thank you,
Hey,
Nick.
thanks. I knew it was one of the 7 things I said.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, guys.
Accused, I said witness, contact.
Can't jerk off to a scene 500 times and not remember the name of the movie.
Oh,
no.
wow.
Oh,
Gary.
no.
Now you're going to have to edit things out
no.
again. No, Gary. Bad, Gary. Get in the corner.
It is.
Get in that corner. I apologize to all
What if
women.
you showed somebody the clip and you're like, hey, have you ever seen Tommy? And you just show them the clip from The Accused and you're like, whoa, this is Tommy?
This doesn't seem like Tommy.
Just playing
Hey,
sympathy
guys.
for the devil
Hey,
underneath
guys.
it.
The Olympics is happening right now. Hey. All right.
Was there a similar rape scene in the
No.
Broadway musical
No.
Chess?
No.
Are you sure?
No, I'm pretty sure. Just leave it.
All right.
All right, so the Olympics.
Hey! Would you
The
guys?
Olympics!
Would you
Da,
guys?
da, da.
Would you guys?
Da, 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 da.
Oh, that's my song.
Bum, bum.
That is that the?
That was my song.
That's the
That was the
NFL,
NFL
song.
music.
Yeah, Gary sings that most
I
of
do.
the time.
Yes, I do.
Oh, the Olympics! Da, 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 da.
Dun dun
The
dun
Olympics.
dun dun
Yeah,
dun 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 dun.
This segment's done. It's
dun
done.
that's
dun
what it
dun dun. Okay.
Oh, it's
Hey,
such a
would you
good song.
guys? Would you? So
It holds up.
It holds
it
on.
does hold
Right.
up. The,
Totally holds.
There was a lot of weird stuff in the opening ceremonies that happened, but I'm going to skip to. Here's some weird things that have happened in opening ceremonies in past Olympics. So,
Okay.
see what you guys can. First of all, in 2014, in the Winter Olympics, the Russian secret police choir sang a rendition of Daft Punk's "Get Lucky."
I
Does
think I
anyone
remember
remember that?
That's amazing.
It's really, first of all, it's not very secret.
Wait, so the crawl like appeared like on the screen, like you're watching NBC, and like the super pops up, and it says Russian secret police
Yes.
choir.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're singing Daft Punk's "Get Lucky," and it's really creepy. It's like an Andy Kaufman character, actually.
He
And-
just completed it now. He
Yeah.
just goes to this now.
Remember when the CIA?
We are the God. And God.
oh my God.
Remember when the CIA secret choir opened for Lenny Kravitz in DC in 23?
Yeah, sure. Everyone remembers
It was
that.
awesome.
See how I yes
And
ended
at any
you
point
right
do they go, in my country, punk daffs you.
I
yeah.
watch the entire Sochi Olympics waiting for when
Exactly.
Yakov Smirnoff would pop up.
Or, yeah,
Never happened.
Never happened. Yakov Smirnoff never was in
He
the
was supposed to
24
come out of the
Olympics.
fifth ring, but it didn't open.
Yeah, the fifth ring didn't open.
yeah.
Didn't make it out. That was the big surprise. Everyone was pretty disappointed.
Oh, well.
Also,
Yeah,
in
what a
the
bummer.
1988 Summer Olympics, they lit the torch and burned alive a bunch of peace doves that had been released at the same time.
If that happened in the United States, it'd be called barbecue.
Yeah, well, that's true. And that is they officially do not do dove releases anymore at the opening ceremonies.
That's a good call.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Now we just kill jaguars.
yeah, right.
Oh no, they killed one?
Yeah,
well,
Rio killed a jaguar.
did they?
Yeah, they had a mascot jaguar like a few weeks ago,
I
and
did
they
hear that.
and they had it chained up. And
On a
then-
pinball machine.
Had it chained up. It was sedated, and then it woke up. And as soon as it woke up, they killed it. So,
Oh my
yeah.
God, that's
Oh, man.
terrible. Why do
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
You
Bill?
sick fuck loser.
Hysterically.
Because
So-
this is like that was
Then
their
they
style.
murdered the trainer.
Then they murdered. This is great. Rio's going fine, guys.
Everything's fine.
Everything's great. It's fine.
I'm very worried. Two rowers fell into the water, into the bay.
oh,
They drowned.
No,
guys.
no, but
No,
they
but they swallowed some
no,
poop.
but they clearly swallowed some of that water, and I'm really worried about them.
Yeah.
And in
Oh, they're dead or dying. Yeah.
I don't know why you're worried. More than 40% of the homes in Rio have plumbing.
no, right, exactly.
More than-
40%.
More than 40.
More than 40%
Oh,
have
more than
plumbing.
40.
Have plumbing. In the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver, they just kind of had to bring Wayne Gretzky out on a back of a pickup truck to light the torch. Like some things went wrong, and they just kind of brought him out on a pickup truck. It was strange.
The great one.
The great one. In 1984, the Summer Olympics, they had like the Bill Suter, who was had a jetpack. They had a jetpack,
Oh, yeah.
and he kind of just jetpacked in. And
Yeah.
they paid him $1,000, but they wouldn't give him any tickets to the Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah, they were gonna make money that motherfucker one way or the other.
That was almost enough to buy an Olympic ticket.
Yeah. Peter Ueberroth was a cheap bastard.
I went to that Olympics. I saw team handball and gold and bronze medal soccer games.
Oh, nice.
We
Ah.
drove cross country.
Oh,
Well,
that's
well
fine.
worth the 6-day ride
Yeah, well,
for some
yeah.
team handball.
Yeah, it was a 3-week everybody in the station wagon trip from New Jersey to California and back kind of thing.
So jetpack technology has existed since 1984. Like
Yeah.
we've had,
And we're
jetpack
not using it
capabilities.
right to its full
I
potential.
beg to differ. It's existed since the Renaissance.
Well, okay, yes, if you believe those Leonardo da Vinci
yeah.
drawings, yes. And
What,
then
do you want to know? I know a little bit about the jetpack guy. You want to
okay,
hear about him?
absolutely.
Please.
From what I understand, there was one guy in like the 60s, 70s, working on a jetpack. In a James Bond movie, they wanted a jetpack scene. So they went and found the scientists that had the closest thing to a jetpack, and they go, can we use this for this movie? And he said, yeah. And he's like, but we need somebody to fly it. And because he was the only person that was most familiar with it, he wound up flying it in the movie. And then because of that, he wound up just becoming the jetpack guy, and he wound up
Right.
touring the world. And he was the guy, and from what I understand, it's the same guy in Bond, it's the same guy in the Olympics. There's one jetpack guy. I guess he just was the only guy who knew how to use the thing because he created it, and he just became like that was his life.
Right,
He just
he made it
go
his
around the world doing jetpack, exhibitions and stuff like that.
So we don't have jetpacks.
But what I love though is a guy that's like, hey, hey, they're not going to give him tickets. How are they going to stop him? Hey, you didn't pay your ticket, jetpack man. Like, come and get me.
That's
I am the games.
Right.
I am the games.
That's pretty funny.
I am the game.
Yes.
They didn't pay admission to watch me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the worst opening scenario thing I learned today. The torch relay, where they go through the host country and everything with the
Yeah.
torch and then they light at the end. That was created for the 1936 Olympics, which you might remember were held in Munich, Germany.
Infamous.
Or Berlin, Germany, for that's the whole Hitler Olympics. And it's because Hitler's PR folks came up with that as a nice way to show off the countryside. What I like best about this piece of information is then there's no Olympics again until like 1948, I believe. But still, right there, it's just after the terrors and horrors of World War II. But the IOC is still like, you know what? We should still keep that torch thing that Hitler came up with. Running through the countryside looking like we're chasing people with fire. We should keep that. Let's keep doing that one. So
Hey, good ideas don't discriminate.
that's right. Absolutely. So, Nick, we play ridiculous games with our guests. And we got a quick one here because we're running out of time. We try not to bore our guests with too much of our silliness. So we were going to do a little, I picked out 3 women Olympians in the, who are real Olympians. And this might turn out to be terrible, so we might just have to cut it. But we might have to fix it in post. Too bad we don't really do that. But
that should be the name of the game.
Yeah,
Not
fix it
to
in-
play. We'll just make the air.
Fix it in post. This is we're gonna play the dating game, and you're the bachelor, And you're gonna get
the dating game's gonna wind up on the cutting room floor next to my masturbation comment.
Well, yes, probably. And no, it's free reign here. And each of the guys is gonna play one of the lucky women, and you can ask them a few questions, I guess.
Okay, great.
Question.
Yes, Mr. Bishop.
What is the goal here? I don't understand what the goal is. Is he guessing who we're supposed to be?
No, he gets to choose which of the women he wants to go out on a date with.
So one of the three of us will be the winner.
Is it a bad idea? Oh, we're tossing this out the window.
Well, no, it's fine. I mean,
you three know who you are, but I don't know who's who.
That's not the way I thought we were going to play it.
No, but you don't know any of these people anyway.
You don't know any of these people.
Well, I mean,
I don't know any of these people. All right.
It's not. They're not famous.
We're just making it way more confusing.
Well, Lewis, are you against this game in principle?
No.
Are you against it because it objectifies women?
But I want to make sure I understand. We're all competing to try to get him to choose us.
Yes.
So the winner will be one of us.
That was my question.
Yes, I guess in a manner of speaking,
right.
yes. The winner would be one of you
Well,
all.
of course, in this scenario, we're all winners,
Right.
especially Nick.
Right.
But, yeah.
It's the Olympics. There's no losers in the Olympics.
Right,
Okay.
except the people who don't win. So,
Except for silver medal.
Wills, are you
Silver medal on down.
Wills, are you on board with this, or do you just wish it would have stopped after the pinball?
I'm with you. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Okay, we'll give it a shot.
Who's who?
Okay, well, I'm going to get that. Gary, you're Lisa Carrington.
Okay.
Lisa Carrington is from New Zealand. She's a specialist in the 200-meter canoe sprint event. And she won a gold in 2012. And she raises llamas and enjoys Adam Sandler movies.
Wait, what's your sport again?
Canoe sprint event.
Newt?
Canoe
sprint.
Oh, canoe. All right.
Sprint
so
event.
I got to ask Lisa a question about her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we should just leave this in for the listeners to hear. It's just, it's hard.
Is it just because I poked a hole in it?
It's just, I just feel like, we're go ahead, ask Lisa a question. See how it goes. Go ahead.
I love it.
Go ahead.
This is going like every date I'd ever really go on.
Right.
Go ahead. Ask me
So
a
far,
question.
so good. Go ahead. Ask.
So what do you want from me now?
So our first, bachelorette is Lisa Carrington. She's from New Zealand. She's a specialist in the 200-meter canoe sprint and won a gold in it in the 2012 London Games. She also raises llamas and enjoys Adam Sandler movies. Do you have a question?
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, Lisa.
Yes, Nick.
What would you do the canoe? How would you stroke my paddle?
Well, you've got to make sure there's plenty of wax on there first, otherwise you can develop calluses.
Nothing gets me hotter than callus.
All right. Well, our bachelorette number 2 is Katarina Bulatovic from Montenegro. She's on the Montenegro handball team, and they won an unprecedented silver medal in the 2012 Olympic Games.
How is that unprecedented?
For Montenegro, I believe.
I see. Okay.
Lisa, settle down, Lisa. And she trains birds of prey, and she bedazzles jeans. Say hello to Nick, Katarina.
Hello.
Oh, wow. Hello. Such a sweet voice. Hey, can I ask her a question?
Please do.
Hey, so you play handball. Let me ask you something. How would you stroke my paddle?
If this is attempt to make, how you say, innuendo, I am not having it.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Bad
Right.
attitude. Bad attitudes don't get gold medals, I guess. Huh,
Clearly
Katarina?
forgot she raises birds of prey.
Right.
To me, my raptor.
All right. And then our third and final bachelorette is Blessing Okabare. She's a Nigerian track and field athlete who specializes in long jumping and short sprints. She's an Olympic and world champion medalist in the long jump and a world medalist in the 200 meters. And she also likes kittens and HGTV's Flipper Flop. So say hello to Nick, Blessing.
Hey, what's going on, Nick?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, a bunch of Russian dolls over here, I tell you, with these voices. Oh, my gosh. They say They say the steroid scandals are still going, but I see no evidence of that in these beautiful sirens of voices.
Yes, right. Do you have a question, and then we can end our game for Miss Blessing?
Yeah, I got a good question. So you are into the long jump. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If a couple wants to have a child, and one person wants to have the child, the other one doesn't have a child, is it okay for one of the people to raise a child with a separate family if that gives everybody in all of the situations mutual happiness?
Well, yeah, I believe so. But mutual happiness to me is after this show, we go back and we just take a little flight to Chicago, and I got a few pinball tables, and we'll just see what happens, and maybe
light them up
and go crazy.
Yeah.
So,
ooh, you're talking pinball,
yeah,
right? Talk pinball to me. Well, Nick, the good
maybe
news
let
is
you,
It's a hell of a question, though.
yeah, the good news is for Nick that now is the time you get to pick your bachelorette. It's either Lisa from New Zealand, the canoeist,
Right.
Katarina from Montenegro, who is the handball artist, or Blessing from Nigeria, the long jumper.
Well, you know what, ladies, you all, I wish there was three of me to take all you out. I'd triple jump at the chance to go out with all of you.
Oh, that's sweet.
But I tell you what, I have to go. I have to go with contestant number one only because her voice was closest to a woman.
Hey, Nick, you're a wonderful human being.
You guys are the best.
Can we get to first of all? Can you tell us if you have anything coming up, any show dates or specials, or any place you're going to be appearing?
Check out my album for amusement only.
Sure.
It's on the internet. And then me and TJ Miller are going to be doing a tour called the Ridiculously Meticulous Tour. So just look us up, and we're doing like 20 cities.
I
in
remember
like
Mr. TJ Miller.
TJ Miller, we haven't seen him since we had dinner with his parents in Aspen.
Our sketch group used to go and perform there in improv. A little heavyweight, a little chuckle sandwich.
Oh my gosh, that's
Wow.
going to be a lot of fun. Well, we'll check that out. You tell them we said hello.
Absolutely.
We really love talking to you. We are crying here in a positive way. And please let us know when you're going to be back in the Carolinas or so, and we will say nice things about your tour and your album and everything else. It was very delightful and very nice of you to do this.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, we had a good time. All right, man. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. I'll see you at the closing ceremonies.
All right, sounds great.
Later, dude.
All right, bye.
Later.
Oh, all righty then. Well, that was a good time. He was very serious about the pinball. Well, guys, woo! It's about time for us to go. That was an exciting ride there with Mr. Vatterott. Join us next week when we'll have on our special guest comedian Emmett Montgomery. And that's going to wrap us up for this week, listeners. A special thanks to our contributors, Joe Perot and Wills Maxwell, who is in studio this week. And to download all our episodes and extras that we put out every week, subscribe in iTunes or Stitcher, or go to myfantasywife.com for links to everything. Thank you, Mr. Bishop, for taking us out with the jazz trumpet stylings of Mr. Al Hurt.